peace and grace of the Lord Jesus be with you and your loved ones. As we continue today our reflections upon the virtuous life, yesterday I gave an overall vision of what virtue is, distinguishing between the theological virtues, which connect us to God directly in our gifts from God, and the human virtues, which we develop by practice and by which we become more and more the virtuous person that God has intended. Today I would like to explore a little more deeply the virtue of faith. Now, often we use the word faith in a variety of ways. We can think of propositions about the faith. One God, Father, Son, and Spirit, the Trinity, all the doctrines of the faith. But actually, for us, first of all and fundamentally, faith is a virtue by which we believe in God, and we believe all the things that he tells us, and we believe that he has revealed himself to us. I think of the words of St. Thomas the Apostle, "I believe, help my unbelief." That's, I think, where we all stand. We want to believe more, but it is the grace of God that allows this faith to grow within us. It's the foundation of all of the virtues, this foundation by which we freely commit our entire self to God. You know, the person of faith is the person who surrenders, the person who says, "Thy will be done." Certainly we look at Mary and Jesus as perfect examples of faith, where they are trusting that the Lord's promises made to them, what he's revealed to them, they believe wholeheartedly. Now you can see how faith and hope kind of merge together because we are trusting in the promises that God gives us. Perhaps the best example of faith, and we use the expression, our father in faith, is the faith of Abraham. Let me just read for a moment the passage from the book of Genesis. "And behold, the word of the Lord came to Abraham, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but one who will come from your own body shall be your heir." Remember that Abraham is in his 90s, so he's not thinking this is possible. "And he brought him outside and said, Look now up toward the heavens and count the stars if you are able. He said, So shall your descendants be. And he believed the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness." So we find Abraham a perfect example of someone who hears the Lord speaks to him, reminds him of what lay ahead for him, and he simply responds wholeheartedly. For that reason, we speak of him as the father of faith, because there was unwavering belief that Abraham had in God's power. And even Paul in his writings speaks of the way in which Abraham, who is our father in faith, hoped against hope in all that the Lord had revealed to him. The promise that his descendants will be as numerous as the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore. Paul will note that Abraham's belief was unhampered by the fact that he was 100 years old. He was not weak in faith, he was strong in faith. And if we can summarize how Abraham would have explained his faith, he would say, faith is a deep conviction that God's words are true and that God will perform all that he promises. Abraham simply believed that God would do what he said. What great faith is that, as we read the scriptures, as we celebrate the sacraments, that God is true to his word. That's the heart of the theological virtue of faith. May God bless you and your loved ones this Holy Week.